Thanks for joining us from over there. We're just across the way here.
Social distancing.
I'll just start with Aubrey asking a question, and then if you guys want to hit a little something in the Zoom, if you want to ask a question, then I'll just go down that list. So you can have the mask down, Aubrey. It's fine. No one else is around you, so we're good there. Aubrey, excited. I mean, I know it's been such a up in the air situation for so long. Are you excited to finally have a day where you can get going?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's been such an up and down few months just with everything. So to be able to like actually get to practice and feel like there's some normalcy in our lives again it's gonna be really exciting.
All right, Henry, question.
Hey Aubrey, you guys had a really fun season to watch last year in that there were a lot of really good teams that you guys played really well, but you didn't necessarily always pull it out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what you think like the next step is to start pulling out some of those close games that you guys were playing in.
I think a lot of those games came down to discipline and the little things. And so that's something that we've really been focusing a lot on this year. And I think that we're going to continue as the season starts, is just focusing on the details of it. Because a lot of those games could have been won if we did like one or two different things better. It wasn't any drastic things, we were in all of those games, but that's how you win close games against really good teams, is the details and the small things and just being really disciplined on that. And so that's something that our coaches have talked about. And I think that we're all really aware of that. So I think that's going to be the separator for sure.
All right, Brian and Cheryl raised their hand at the same time. We'll start with Cheryl and then go to Brian.
Hi, how hard was it for you to stay in shape, over the summer and keep up your competitive fire with everything that's going on? And what were you doing to stay in shape?
Well, that was definitely a challenge, especially because gyms and such weren't open. And I'm from California, so back there it was pretty bad. So there weren't even really any baskets out. So it was really just like trying to stay disciplined and I would do like run on the beach and just try and run and kind of just remember that the season is going to come. And that was kind of a way to get out of the house a little bit to get that exercise, but it definitely wasn't easy. And that's when the discipline piece came in, from what we've developed all like in college and being in college athletics, is that discipline of every day, even if you don't want to do it, thinking about the longevity of it. So.
And to follow up really quickly, what kinds of things did maybe your coaches or your teammates do to help everybody stay motivated while you guys were apart?
Well, we had like Zoom meetings, and so we would talk about that, and Adam, our strength coach, would send us, body lifting things, and we would kind of encourage each other in our group chats just to kind of make sure that we were all staying in shape and doing some things, at least the bare minimum of it, to not have to come back and take 5 steps backwards, so that we could come here and be in a little bit of shape and things like that. Obviously, it's not the same not having weights, but just trying to encourage each other and understanding that in this hard time, we're all in it together.
Thanks. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, Brian.
Hey, Aubrey, just a couple quick ones for you. With the uniqueness of this season, as you've been around your teammates, how ready do you feel like you guys are for the start of practice compared to previous years? I mean, do you feel like you guys are behind, or do you feel like you guys can catch up right away?
I wouldn't say that we're behind. I think it's just been different. I think we've been in, functional groups, so we've been able to still practice and get in the gym and lift, which has been nice compared to a lot of other schools in our conference. But I think it's just been different. We don't necessarily have the same chemistry as a whole team yet because we hadn't been able to practice with each other. But I don't think that that's going to take a long time. I mean, I think that we have a really good team and a lot of like really good girls on this team. And I think that we all get along really well. So it's just developing that on the core of that chemistry. But I don't think that we're necessarily any more behind or anything like that than we have been in the past. I think it's just a little bit different. We're just not used to playing with each other yet, which is going to come. And it doesn't take that long to get used to that. So.
And then I'm also curious, it probably impacted football more than you guys, but there was that announcement August 11th that, hey, we're not going to play till January. And then all of a sudden they come back, a month later and say, we are going to play. Football had to kind of react pretty quickly, but did that impact you guys at all to have that reversal of that decision?
Not really. I think for us, it was almost a benefit for us to get told that we thought that we weren't going to be able to play until January. And I think that we were kind of like, okay, we have these months to get ready because we lost that time from March until beginning of June-ish. But then when we were told that our season was going to be starting up again, I think that we were all more fired up than not because, we got our season cut short last year and we were really disappointed to find out that we weren't going to be able to play until January. And so to be able to have that reverse, I don't think that it was really that much of a shift in our mindset just because we hadn't played in so long and it wasn't that much of a difference. So I wouldn't say it really affected us that much.
All right, Cory.
I have to unmute myself. I'm still getting used to doing this. Obs, I know talking to you guys during the off season a little bit, I was lucky enough to kind of catch up with all of you guys. Everybody kind of mentioned kind of a chip on the shoulder you guys might have because of the disappointment of not being able to continue on and play in a postseason tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like in practice? I mean, how do you kind of take that from the belly and turn it into, we know that we were a postseason team last year. We want to prove it this year that we can really be a postseason team. How do you kind of teach, particularly the newer players that are coming in too? You talked about discipline, but carrying that chip on the shoulder.
I think that has really been translated in our competition and practice. I think that you can tell there's a different energy this year than there has been in the past 3 years that I've been here. I think that we have a lot of veterans on this team and a lot of experienced players. And so I think that we are teaching the freshmen of this is how you play at Colorado, which I don't think we've ever really had before. And again, like that discipline, I think that we're all understanding that there were so many games last year that we could have won that would have let us go to the NCAA tournament. But then yet again, we knew that we were going to be able to go to the WNIT and then to get that ripped under from us. And I've been here for 3 years and we had never gone postseason. We were always so close, one game away. And so to have us be able to get there and then that be ripped away by, this whole coronavirus thing, I think we're all, really fired up to get that chance this year. And I think that we have a great team and we have an opportunity to honestly win the Pac-12. And I think we all know that. And so it's that competitive nature in practice. You can tell from when we get on the court to when we leave the court, it's just a different energy.
Brian, did you have another one?
Yeah, I got another one for Aubrey. And Aubrey, I know you're going to want to say everybody, but I want you to give me some meat here. As you look at your team, who has kind of stood out to you and where you said, wow, she's really better than she was back in March when we ended the season?
I would say that Jalen has developed a lot. I mean, she was a really young player last year and she was put into a position of, as a freshman, having to be our starting point guard, which is not an easy position to be in, especially in one of the top conferences in the country. And so I think that she has kind of developed that role a little bit more and understood that like she's going to be a very defining factor on our team. And so you can tell that confidence has just grown and grown and grown. I wouldn't necessarily say from March, but I would just say from the season last year and then compared to this year, which is going to have a big impact on our team. But I think everyone has, I wouldn't say that there was like nobody that hasn't improved from March. I think, again, like everyone has that chip on their shoulder, that fire underneath them of, okay, this is go time. This is our season. And I think not being able to have any normalcy in our life and being able to have this normalcy on the basketball court has definitely helped on that.
Just one quick follow on that. You have a bunch of newcomers. Is there any of them that in the first few weeks or months in the gym that has kind of wowed you at all or has impressed you with how they play?
I would say Alyssa has some confidence that she's coming in with. I mean, all of them, have their own little sparks of the freshman spark and that helps the older players, because it's so new to them and so exciting. But I would say, yeah, you can tell that she is bringing in some confidence into that, which is definitely going to help our team.
Then Cheryl, your hand is still raised. I don't know if that's from before, just making sure you don't have anything else.
Oh, no, I don't. Sorry.
No worries. Anything from anybody else? All right. Aubrey, thank you so much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aubrey.
Thank you.
And we'll